Good morning, everyone. Yesterday was Tuesday. That was the first day of therapy treatment at Cognitive FX. And something that I forgot to mention, the first video during my treatment about all my test results, I got some clarity. I asked some of the technicians some questions. And this number, 2.49, that is the standard deviation from normal. And 2.49, that is 0.1% of a normal population has this number. So that's why I'm so high. And that's why my symptoms and all the things that I'm struggling with, that's why they are the way they are. What they're trying to do with the therapies is when I formulated my neural pathways in growing up, learning how to walk or read, eat my food, computation, there were pathways that were built into my brain, roads. And when I received a traumatic brain injury from the car accident and then later a concussion from being hit by a desk, what happened was the brain could no longer see that pathway, that road, and instead it built a bridge around it. So in order to get from point A to point B, instead of the direct path that I had grown up using, now I have to go to a more circuitous, obtuse, elongated route that makes what I'm trying to do take longer, more challenging, more frustrating. And so what they're trying to do is they're trying to create roadblocks on that bridge so that I can no longer cross that bridge, but then instead I see the pathway that was originally there, the most direct route, and that's what they're trying to do. So they started out with several different kinds of therapies, and all the therapies, whether it's cognitive therapy or neuromuscular therapy or what else do they have? Cognitive therapy, they have terms that don't really mean much to you, like Dynavision, or they also have occupational therapy. All of them focus around the principle of trying to push my mind beyond the point that it's used to or that has been used to. So, for example, one of the early exercises I did in the morning, I had to put down a deck of cards according to suit, with the cards face down. So diamond, club, heart, spade. And then put all the cards that I saw in that order of suits while responding to questions. So one of the questions was respond to opposite words. So I would put down diamond, and then when they said cold, I would say hot, which was pretty easy. And then it got harder where they would give me 4 letters and I would have to unscramble the letters. So for example, V-O-E-L, and then I would try to spell love. That was a little bit challenging, but still pretty good. I was still pretty good at it. The next thing I had to do was something called Dynavision, where I'm looking at a screen and everywhere around me are lights, and I have to touch the light that lights up. So it's trying to increase my peripheral vision while looking at a screen and reading what's on the screen. I had to read, they were saying words of wild fang. And there were also sequences of words that I had to say and remember what came prior. So if it was dog, hat, bottle, I would say dog, and then hat, dog, and then bottle, hat, all while touching these lights. And for the most part, all those exams or all those treatments seemed pretty easy for me, and the therapist, they were saying that I was doing pretty well, which is not what I wanted to hear. And during lunchtime, I was asking one of the doctors whether or not it's possible to be pushed further. Because I didn't come here. Let me rewind. Following my car accident, I passed all the tests that all the therapists gave me, the speech therapist, the occupational therapist, and it didn't make me feel any better because I knew there was something wrong. I knew that I couldn't think the way I used to be able to think, but I still passed all the tests that they had, and I didn't feel that that was a good measure of what was actually going on in here. So it felt yesterday morning felt the same, where I was doing pretty well considering what is happening in my mind, or what is struggling in my mind. And the doctor said, yeah, if you want your therapist to push you, then just let them know. And so the next treatment, I told the therapist I want you to blow up that bridge. I don't want you to put roadblocks there. I just want you to blow it up so that I can get as quickly to that pathway as I possibly can. She said, well, we're not going to do that, but if you really want to be pushed, we will push you. And that's exactly what she did. I was working with her on neuromuscular therapy, and particularly something called working on my autonomic nervous system. So I got on a stationary bike and pushed my heart rate up to the highest it could possibly go in a minute. So exerting absolute force. And then I got off the bike and then tried to control my breathing, inhaling 4 counts, holding it for 1, and then exhaling 5 counts for 2 minutes. And it felt impossible to do something like that. I challenge you to try to push your heart rate as high as possible, and then do that breathing exercise so that the point is to lower your heart rate as low as it can be in a short duration of time. And I did that 4 times. And what felt good about it was each time I did it, I was able to control my breathing more and more. The first time I was doing that breathing exercise, I was only able to do that sequence once. The second time I was able to do it twice. The third time, 3 times, and the final time I was able to do it 5 times. And that felt really good, and she did push me. My legs were giving out. I was getting a cramp in my calf, and I could barely stand. Another exercise, I had to stand on one of those bubble balls with a flat surface on top, catch a football while balancing, and answer riddle questions. And then flip the ball over, stand on the other actual ball side, catch a football, and name cities from alphabetical order, things like that. So they're trying to disrupt as many of the circuits in my mind from different angles as possible. And she really did push me, and I was grateful for that. And then I went to do some occupational therapy. And I won't go over the exercise or in detail, but it involved cross-body movement, which, according to some of my dancer friends, they didn't understand why it was so hard for me to do cross-body movement, but this really pushed that realm where I had to do cross-body movement, do things in sequential order, alphabetically or numerically. Yeah, it was very, very challenging, and by the end of that, I was very, very frustrated, but that's exactly what I want to feel, because I didn't come here to have the therapist tell me, oh, I'm doing a great job. No, I want them to fail me over and over and over again. And they have a mantra or a motto at the center where there's no change without challenge, and I really, really want to be challenged, because the reason why I didn't make a video yesterday was I was kind of a little bit sunk. Even though the latter half of the day they pushed me, it was already the second of the 5 days, and I was getting nervous and worried that I'm not going to get as much out of this treatment as I had wanted, as I had hoped. I was getting nervous that I'm just not going to walk away as happy. That my symptoms, my insomnia is not still going to be there, my memory and focus are still going to be problems, and my headaches are going to still persist. I was really worried about that, and I wasn't in the best mood to make this video. But I was talking to some people, and they said, well, your frustration with your progress, is that what the therapists are saying? Or is that what you're saying? And I acknowledge that that's my own measurement. That's my own standard. And it's really impossible for them to push me to the point where I want them to after the first day, because that first day yesterday, they were just getting my baseline. They were seeing what I could do, and I'm thinking now they're really gonna add on that information and get me to cross that threshold. So we'll see. But thank you everyone for being patient as you wait for this video. I'm still excited. Worn out, but still excited. Oh, and I forgot to mention, I want to pass on some information to people that might be struggling with their own cognitive difficulties. There was something they told me about, an app called Brainwave Entrainment, BWE. It looks like that symbol right there. And what it does is it places 2 frequencies that will help the brain do whatever you select. So if you're trying to study or concentrate, if you're trying to fall asleep, deep sleep, or if you're trying to take a nap, it'll play those frequencies overlaid by white noise, whatever you want, rain or thunderstorms or river. And you listen to that while you're trying to do things, and it helps. I don't understand the science behind it, but it helps your brain process the information that you just learned, or help your brain decompress so that it can relax and settle in and not have so much activity going on in your mind to distract you from sleep. I found that pretty effective last night when I was trying to fall asleep. Okay, that's it for now. Bye, y'all.